Greetings, it's Adina here from Immigrant Finance. I hope you're doing well. Today I'm going to be covering the top 4 strategies for building wealth as an immigrant. I'm so excited to get into this because this information really needs to get out there. Now, I know how important this is because I have personally gone through the experience with my husband, Mauricio, who's an immigrant, of struggling with money. When he came to the US in 2013, we struggled for years with finances and money. We had no direction or guidance and could not find anywhere on the internet or in any of the personal finance books how he, as an immigrant, could be building a financial plan for wealth. We didn't know how he could, or whether he could have a bank account, credit cards, build a credit score, whether he could invest, whether he could save for retirement, whether he'd be able to buy a home someday. And it was really frustrating and anxiety provoking. So we essentially have spent, over 8 years heavily researching the intersection of the financial system and the immigration law system. I'm also an immigration lawyer, so I use that experience to understand the financial system for immigrants and use that to help our students in our signature program, Immigrant Finance School, learn exactly how they can build a financial plan that's specific to their needs as an immigrant or as a family member of an immigrant so that they can build wealth too. We are so passionate about this because it is more important than ever that immigrants are empowered with financial tools to be building stability and developing plans for generational wealth, because we know how difficult the immigration laws are and we know how difficult it is for them to change. We can't wait around for that. But what you can do is to improve your finances. That can be life changing. So I'm going to go over some of our top 4 strategies for how you can be building wealth as an immigrant. And these are all topics we cover way more in depth in Immigrant Finance School. Now, the first topic is managing money. Now, managing money can include everything from learning how to budget to learn how to make sure you have the best accounts for your bank accounts, credit cards, investment accounts, how you know how they all relate, how you can connect them and automate them, how you can build systems so that you know where every dollar is going and that every dollar is working toward your goals and toward allowing you to enjoy life right now. That's really how you can switch from survival mode and paycheck to paycheck, like we were in when we first started out on our financial journey back in 2013, where we were constantly going into debt and living paycheck to paycheck and not having a plan to get out of it. Managing money is how you get out of that, learning those systems. So learning how to get really clear on your financial goals, how to narrow them down and build a plan for that so that you can feel good every month that you know there's money going toward those goals and that those goals are moving forward. That way, it allows you to enjoy the money that you spend now, to enjoy life, so that you don't have to be constantly coming from a scarcity mindset of feeling guilty when you spend, or not being clear about how much you should be spending, or not knowing whether you can enjoy it when you spend. When you have a plan in place, you can feel really good about spending now and enjoying it because you know your goals are moving forward. So there's other things in managing money too, like learning how to build credit and build a credit score. A lot of people think that immigrants aren't able to do that if they don't have status. That's not true. As long as you have an ITIN, which is an individual tax identification number. It's an alternative to a social security number for people who don't qualify for social security numbers. If you have that ITIN, you can do everything that anyone else can in the US when it comes to finances. It can just be a little bit more difficult to get those accounts open and know which accounts to do and how to answer the immigration questions. But those are all things that we help people with. So feel free to reach out if you're having those questions. So we covered the first strategy for building wealth as an immigrant, learning how to manage money. And again, why this is so important is you can make as much money as you want, but if you don't know how to manage it, you're not going to be building wealth. I know someone, for example, who has a salary making over $300,000 a year, and he has had a period where he had $12 to his name despite making that much money because he didn't know how to manage it. And he was overspending and he was gambling, right? And he was spending through his emotions and insecurities rather than putting himself first and having a plan that would take care of himself first while also being generous with others. So that's what we got to learn how to manage money. And I know a lot of you are so interested in investing. That is one of the strategies I'm going to be talking about, sneak peek. But I also always like to tell people that the hardest part of investing is actually not opening the accounts or learning how to invest. I can teach you that actually pretty easily. It's much more simple than you think, much more simple than they make it seem. The hard part of investing is having the money to invest every month so that you can consistently invest over time, because the secret to building wealth through investing in the stock market is really not about how much you invest. It's about how long you invest. It's about time in the market, and it's about making sure you consistently invest every month. The way you do that is through your budget. It's through having a financial plan. It's through having really clear financial goals and a way to implement them through your budget. So again, this is why managing money has to be the first strategy and is so important. There's lots of other things we've started talking about managing money that are critical too, like building a credit score. You're going to need that in the future to take other actions to build wealth. For example, to buy real estate, to buy property, in order to take out a mortgage loan, you'll need to have a credit score. So there's lots of strategies that go more in depth into managing money that I can't cover now, but just to give you an idea of what's included. Now, the next strategy is investing, which we started talking about. Your money can only go so far in a savings account or in cash. In fact, your money's actually losing value every day due to what's called inflation when you're not investing it. This is because on average every year, the value of the dollar is decreasing at a rate of 3% because of inflation. That means that $1 you have today is going to be worth less a year from now. So when your money's in a bank account or in cash, it's just losing value every day. And you deserve more than that. You work hard. You came to the US for a reason, or your parents or grandparents came to the US for a reason, and you deserve to have your money working for you too. And a very important thing when it comes to investing and making that shift to invest is getting out of the game of trading time for money. So many immigrants and family members of immigrants I talk to are making money only by trading their time. They're not setting up strategies to have their money work for them, which is called passive income. Passive income is when your money makes money for you with you doing nothing. So when you're sleeping, when you're on vacation, right, when you're hanging out with your friends or family, your money can be making money when it's being invested in the stock market or in other forms of investing. For example, investing in a business you start or investing in real estate. Right? Those are all ways you can start to build passive income. So it's incredibly important to get started investing. If you're an immigrant and you don't have a social security number, you can invest as long as you have that ITIN. So please know that you can invest. A lot of people think they can't if they're immigrants, and that's just not true. And that's exactly what we help people with. We've been able to help over 50 people who don't have social security numbers be able to open investment accounts and start investing as immigrants. So this is something you can absolutely do, and make sure to not let what others tell you that you can't. Make sure to not listen to that, because again, you deserve more. You deserve to have your money work for you. I also want to address a big misconception people have, that they think investing is super, super risky. Now, remember what we were talking about with bank accounts, how your money's losing value every day due to inflation. That's why it's actually more risky for you to not be investing, because investing in the stock market or other forms of investments like real estate or a business are the only ways where not only can you keep up with inflation so that you are growing your money at least at a rate of 3%, so that it continues to keep up with its value and not lose value, but it's also the only way that you can beat inflation and get higher rates of return beyond that 3% mark. So not only are you not losing money, but you're making money. And that's when you can start to get into that passive income, getting out of trading time for money and having your money work for you so that you don't have to work so hard. Because let me tell you, we are sick and tired of seeing so many immigrants and their family members overworking, working 2 or 3 jobs because they don't know this critical information. And that's why it's part of our mission to make sure that as many immigrants and family members of immigrants know about this, about these wealth building strategies, so that they can take advantage of the opportunities available in this country and they can start getting out of trading time for money. Because if you look around at people who are wealthy, at the millionaires, at the people who own wealth in this country, they are not getting it from working 2 or 3 jobs. That's not how they are making their wealth. And you don't see people like that working 2 or 3 jobs. You see them being smart with their money and growing it. And it's because they are investing it in the stock market, in real estate, in businesses. So this is why the second strategy of building wealth has to be investing. And it is so incredibly important that you take it very seriously and make sure to get started as soon as possible. Because again, it's about time in the market. It's not about how much money you have. I've talked to a lot of people who think they have to save $10,000, $20,000 to start investing. That's not true. You can actually start investing with $1. That's all you need to start investing. And again, that's something we would love to help support you with because we believe it's so important for immigrants and their families to be taking advantage of these tools to be building wealth so that you can have more options and choices, so that you can have a plan for your future, for your children, for college, for retirement, so that you don't have to be working until you're 70 years old. Let your money work for you, right? It's a big shift to be making. The third strategy is increasing income. Increasing income is absolutely critical. And in fact, investing and increasing income, I would say, are the number 2 strategies that we really focus on with our students, because increasing income is the only way you're going to collapse time, basically. You're going to shorten time so that you can build wealth faster. The reason is when you increase income, you can meet your financial goals faster. You can invest more, so your money grows faster and faster. You can pay off debt faster and faster so that your credit score improves and you don't have to deal with debt. And then you can pay off your debt and start shifting that money just toward investing more to build more and more wealth. It can also allow you to reach other financial goals faster. For example, if you wanted to save for a down payment for a home or for a vacation with your family, when you increase income, you can just do all that faster. And I always tell our students, budgeting and the managing money stuff is so critical. Like I said, it's the first strategy, and none of the other strategies are going to work if you don't learn how to manage money. It's really the foundation. However, once you learn all that, there's only so far you can go if you don't increase income. You can budget till your face turns blue, but if the total number in your budget is not increasing, it's going to be very hard to move forward. Yes, you can make progress, right, with the amount you have now, paying off debt and saving for your goals and starting to invest with what you can. But why not just make that faster and do it at an exponential level by focusing on increasing income? The other reason increasing income is really, really important for immigrants is because a lot of people are being underpaid, and they're overworking and being underpaid, and they're not being valued for their time and their energy and their expertise and the value that they're offering. So if you look at wealthy people, they don't allow that, right? They have very high standards how they're treated and how they're paid. They also have multiple streams of income, so that they're not reliant on one single employer for income. We saw in the pandemic, so many people lost their jobs, right? And it really emphasized how important it is to not have all your income from one source. And this is something wealthy people, again, know very, very well, and why they have several strategies, several streams of income, so that if one dries up, they're fine. They've got other ones going, right? And they know how to make money. So this is a very important skill. Once you learn how to make more money and generate income on your own, it's a skill you'll never forget. It's like riding a bike. So you can rely on yourself going forward instead of having to be at the whims of and be controlled by some employer who may not be treating you well, right? So it's a way to, have more security. It's a way to also build your wealth. And starting a business is one of the best ways to do this, even if it's just a side hustle, right? By starting a business, you have no cap on your earning potential. You can increase income as much as you want, right? You can work with as many clients, help as many people as you want, and make as much money as you want. And for immigrants who are undocumented without status, This is also incredibly important because there are no laws saying that you need a work permit or status to have your own business, right? All of those immigration laws that are restricting the ability to work are related to being an employee. They're not about being a business. So it's a very smart strategy for undocumented immigrants to learn how to start their own businesses, right? Even if it's on the side, or even if it's a full business or a business you scale over time on the side of your day job, because it's going to give you that more protection to have another income stream. And it's also a way to make money legally where you don't need to be reliant on the immigration laws or a work permit or a certain immigration status. That's why it's so critical for immigrants to learn how to start businesses. And this is something we love supporting people with. We're very passionate because starting a business has completely changed our lives. It's allowed us to buy 2 homes. It's allowed us to have my husband Mauricio leave his job when we needed him to take the lead on childcare during the pandemic, right? It's just given us so many options and choices. It's allowed us to be able to bring our family from Ecuador to come visit and go visit them, right? It just completely has changed our lives. So we want everybody to know these strategies, particularly with online business. It's one of the easiest ways to increase income because you can set your own hours, you can work from anywhere, you can work from any country too, right? And there's just infinite numbers of people that you can connect with on the internet and help and solve problems for and create value, and therefore create income, because when you create value, money flows. So that's the third strategy, is increasing income. The fourth and final strategy I want to talk about is money mindset. Now, this is the most important part of all of this. I always say that 99% of personal finance and also of starting a business is your mindset. It's not the numbers or the math, right? It's really the mindset, because when we shift from surviving to thriving, and when we shift from paycheck to paycheck and struggling to being on a pathway to build wealth, your whole mindset and way of thinking has to change. This is because even if I teach you all the strategies we've just talked about of managing money and investing and increasing income, if your mindset doesn't change and your mindset stays stuck where you were before, in a place of lack, in a place of always worrying about not having enough, in a place of scarcity, right? Those strategies aren't going to work. You have to change your mindset with it to start seeing problems as opportunities, right? As seeing, all of the creative ways that you can make more money that are available to you now, regardless of your situation, regardless of what people have told you, what's possible, regardless of your immigration status. So we do a lot of work here in Immigrant Finance on mindset for these reasons. And we are so excited to hopefully be able to share it with you. So all of these 4 strategies we've talked about: managing money, investing, increasing income, and mindset, we cover way in depth in our signature program, Immigrant Finance School. It is a wealth building program for immigrants and their families. We have a very detailed course that walks you through step by step how to do all of these things with very detailed tutorials, screenshots. You click this and then you click this to open your account, and this is how you answer the immigration questions. And it's everything you need to know to set up a plan to be building wealth as an immigrant or a family member of an immigrant, with lots of community support built in too. So we have an amazing community of students and alumni who are super engaged, who support each other. I really believe that the most value you can get out of the program is from the students and alumni, right? Like we provide you all the answers. We provide you the how-to, the step-by-step guidance. We break it down with assignments, how to implement everything. But you're going to get the most value out of the community, because you're going to see other people who are just like you. Everyone in the school of Immigrant Finance School is an immigrant or family member of an immigrant from various types of immigration status and backgrounds and countries. You're going to see people just like you who have similar goals, that they want to be building wealth, they want to be building their future, they want to create better lives for them and their families, they want to be investing, they want to be starting businesses, and they are going to motivate you so much, because you'll see that if they can do it, you can do it too. So come join us in Immigrant Finance School. We would love to have you apply and connect to see if it's a good fit for you and your goals. You can go ahead and apply at immigrantfinanceschool.com, and we can't wait to talk to you. Have a great rest of your day, And please make sure to click the button to subscribe and follow us on YouTube to get more tips and tricks about finances for immigrants. You can also check us out on Instagram at immigrant.finance, as well as our free community Facebook group, which is called Building Generational Wealth for Immigrant Families. We can't wait to connect with you, and take care. Have a great rest of the day.